Alright, haven't been on a live stream in a while, but this is my 20th one, I guess. And tonight I wanted to talk about, let's change this out real quick. Put my chat up. Had some problems with OBS. I haven't updated it or something. Whatever. Tonight I'm talking about bones of saints and demons, and how that works, I guess. I've been getting a lot of, it seems like that's on the forefront of human consciousness right now, so I'm going to get into that and probably rant about some other stuff, but this first part I'll try to keep it nice and tight and quick. Alright, so if you haven't heard this theory yet, you can basically prove that all the face emojis are the 72 lesser demon keys of King Solomon. And here's how you can prove it. This is the Unicode Consortium. It's like what governs, hold on one sec. Yeah, it's what governs all of the text on screen. So like when computers first started, it was like there was just English, right? Or ASCII. And then they started adding different languages, so they needed different symbols. And it got to a point where they started adding like images. And it's done by this consortium called the Unicode Consortium, okay? And the full members are the ones who vote for which text get put into the computer to be like the like overall symbols that can be used in a computer. And it's who you would expect, basically. Adobe, Apple, Facebook, Google, IBM, I can't say that, Microsoft, and then randomly this symbol, which is, this is a photo, but it's the Ministry of Religious Affairs for the Sultanate of Oman. Netflix SAP. What are they doing there? Why would they, this random country, Oman, that you never hear about, be the full member voting on the full member voting council for the Unicode Consortium? And if you go to the next slide, this is like a more, I think I took this picture in like 2023, and they're now a supporting member. But back then, this was the website, and they were a full member. And here's the reason why the Sultanate of Oman, the Ministry of Religious Affairs for the Sultanate of Oman, this is when they joined the voting member, the full member history. It was in right here. See that right there? I guess you can see it a little bit. It matches up to 2015 right there. Right? The Unicode release dates. This was this was the release date that emojis, face emojis, specifically 72 face emojis, were added to the Unicode Consortium. And it's, see that? 2015, June 17th. 2015, Sultan of Oman. That's when they became full members. Okay, so why does that matter? And this was a more up-to-date one, but it's not the most recent one. And the Sultan of Oman for Religious Affairs Division. Like, that is so weird, right? Well, if you go into the Bible, there's a person known as the Queen of Sheba. And in 1 Kings 10:1 through 10:3, and when the Queen of Sheba heard the fame of Solomon concerning the name of the Lord, she came to him with hard questions, and Solomon told her all her questions. There was not anything hid from the king which he told her not. And, okay, like, what does that mean? Well, if you look at this book, The Lesser Key of Solomon, the Book of Evil Spirits, in 10:4 it says, now the weight in gold that came to King Solomon in 1 year was 600 talents, which is 666. But this is what was traded. I didn't put the actual text of it. King Solomon traded precious stones, spices, 120 talents of gold for. The Bible says it really weird that it doesn't like. What did she get? What did the Queen of Sheba get? And if you look at where Sheba is now, it's Oman. The Queen of Sheba is the present day Oman. I should have had that up there, but yeah. And then if you look at emojis, and these are the demon sigils in the 72 lesser keys of King Solomon, and these are the emojis. They match up pretty close for most of them. Right? Seems like a match to me. And then here's another picture of it. And there's 72 face emojis were added in that update. Not 71, not 73, 72. And there's 72 lesser demon keys. Right? Now recently, I found this like TikTok video, and it had this like the doctor prescription script on a prescription note or whatever, and it's like scribble. And I was like, that's odd. That kind of looks weird. Wait, that reminds me of something. And it was these demon sigils. Some of these kind of fit. Kind of like the emojis. I put the emojis out there because that's a real thing. That it's basically proven. And some of these match here. So my idea is that doctors they get so, by the time they're a full doctor and they can write prescriptions, they're like so possessed, like Jerry Marzinski, possessed by like the demon, that they're writing sigils on, what are all these things? It's either a body part or a drug. So they're like placing a demon on someone's body part. Like they're putting the sigil on the body part. And like when the person takes that prescription, the script, they take the script to the pharmacy guy, and they give him the drug. They give him the demon. That confirms the magic. That's their consent, taking the script and traveling to the pharmacy guy, giving him the note, and then getting the drugs. Just want to check that I'm actually still running. All right, cool. Here's another picture of it. Some of these match, man. Maybe not all of them, but some of them do. And then this was supposed to be like a meme about, I found while I was doing a little research into this, and it shows like the progression of a doctor's handwriting until they own their own practice, and that's when they're like fully possessed, maybe. Like, I don't know for sure. That's what it seems like to me. And let's see. The reason for this is I wanted to get into the saints. I just did an article on this, the saints of and their bones, or the saints and their miracles, because I think that's like that's the one thing that the demons are most against, is people figuring out how to do miracles again. So I started categorizing like what the most obvious miracles were, which was I called it spatial miracles. It's like levitation, bilocation, teleportation, or flight. And I started categorizing. This is not a comprehensive list, but it's just like a search. I did like a keyword search, and then I like checked to make sure it was like a false positive. And this is how many there are. There's a lot of them actually that could levitate. Witnesses said his body transfigured while preaching or in prayer. He would levitate up to 6 feet off the ground at times in front of credible witnesses. Anthony Mary Claret. This guy, he would often swoon when contemplating the crown of thorns. In particular, during these states, said that he would levitate or bilocate. I don't know what this means. That sounds demonic to me. I don't know. Who knows? This one is not very convincing, but it says that in popular legend, he said he would sneak out of the castle at night and would jump out the window. And during his flight from the castle, he would be gently lowered when he got near the bottom. And I don't know. I've been playing this Dungeons and Dragons game, and it sounds like the spell for it's like a light feet or something like that, where you can make your body lighter, so when you fall, you don't get any damage. That's kind of what that sounds like. But this is a real dude, and he's a saint, and it's documented. Do a couple more. She was said to have levitated while in prayer, and a priest claimed to have seen the Holy Communion Eucharist wafer flying from his hand straight to Catherine's tongue. I mean, a lot of these articles sound like real sexual. Like, it seems like a demon's writing these articles, but I'm sure there's some truth to it. Next one. He was endowed with the gift of healing both physical and spiritual diseases. He could also bilocate. Levitate. Levitation. Bilocation. This one's kind of interesting because it's the only teleportation one. These were actually all the facts available in the medieval biographer. He converted a routine mention of Isaiah's presence in Kiev in 1089 into a tale of magical instant flight from Rostov to Kiev and back. So, teleportation, kind of. Bilocation, levitation. This guy is what people usually mention because he was seen flying or levitating like 70 times, a bunch of times. Able to receive visions. Bilocation. Levitation. There's a lot. Like there's a lot more than I thought. I thought it was more than this, and I think there are more than this, but I only went off like a keyword search. I didn't go through every single saint, and there's like 10,000 saints. I went through a big list and then just confirmed that it actually says that they levitated or something. Levitation. But yeah, like I think like spiritual war. Everyone says the spiritual war, right? Well, what would be the equivalent of like going right for the throat and twisting the knife in? I think it would be humans learning miracles, how to do this stuff again. And I found some people claim to have seen people in China that can levitate. This is a guy, I think he's actually legit, in my opinion. And there's a bunch of reasons why I think he's legit, but one of the reasons is the way he describes it, how it works, and the other reason is I've seen people like try to debunk him by making their own channels. Like, this is the only legitimate channel of it, the Russian named one. I don't even know if that's Russian, but people have made exact like replicas of this page, but in English, and every one of the videos where he levitates or whatever, I'll show you where he's levitating somewhere. Straight in the air. He the debunker took the video put it on the English version of the fake scam version of the guy's name, put a watermark on it that said go to this website, which was a scam website to scam people out of money, and subtly changed the video to make it look faker. And I caught him in the act doing it. Well, I didn't catch him. Someone, person in the chat, Nico did, I think. Or I think it was Nico. I don't know. Someone in the chat found a Reddit thread of that guy trying to point out that the guy's fake. And I went and checked on the actual Russian website and compared the videos. And clearly the guy took the video from the Russian version, changed the water font to a scam site, and made it look fake. I think he's actually legit. I don't know. 90% chance, I think. I could be wrong, though. I mean, if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. Whatever. Then the guy can't fly. Like, people get so worked up about being wrong about shit. I don't know. Which brings me to another topic I think has been getting like big in media recently. Is bones, the location of bones and the relics and burial grounds and that kind of thing. And I've been getting this like call to like read this. I've read the first 6 parts like years ago of this manga called JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. And it's part 7. There's 8 parts. Part 7 is supposed to be like the best part. And it's like a Cannonball Run type storyline. But it's Wild West it's like set in the Wild West. And I'm like thinking, okay, why do I keep getting pulled to continue reading this? Because I'm not really interested. I think it's kind of boring. But I finally got to the point where I kind of realized why I was being pulled back into it. And here are the slides for it. I don't know if you can see that. Let's see if I can zoom in. It goes right to left. Do you know what kind of people the word saint is used for? Oh, wait. Shit. That's not a complete answer. The word saint is used for those who cause miracles after they die. So their bones. Let me repeat that. It's after they die, not only when they lived. And I'll show it in a second. The papacy has a stipulation that at least 2 miracles have to happen after the person's death for it to be labeled a saint. That's why it takes hundreds of years for some of them to be declared a saint. And the reason that they're doing this whole Cannonball Run across the entire U.S. in the Wild West is to find the location of this saint's bones. Because, and this is the reason why, and this is the Catholic Church is, the church in general is obsessed with the location of saints' bones. Obsessed with it. I've read tons more saints' biographies on Wikipedia. Almost everyone doesn't talk about the miracles, doesn't talk about anything else, but where their bones are located. How their bones were transported, where their bones used to be, where their bones are going to be. Like, they're obsessed with it. This is the only piece of media I've ever come across that gives a reason. I mean, it's a freaking manga, so I don't know. Obviously, could be totally wrong, but it brings something up. A millennial king. Here we go. A millennial kingdom. The only nations in history that have prospered for over 1,000 years are Venice and the Vatican, which itself has lasted over 1,900 years. Believe it or not, it's because they have the corpses of saints. Even the historic Edo shogunate of the East only lasted 250 years. It's kind of true. I don't know about Venice. I don't know enough about Venice. It's not always plain to see, but people would gladly give their lives for saints. Any country would move the greatest of saints. The greatest of saints offer the glory and power of 1,000 years. Any country would move for them. And the bodies of saints do not rot for hundreds of years. Whether Christian or not, people long for saints. For example, in 1828 AD, when the nation of Venice was in its developing stages, it stole the body of Saint Mark, the writers of one of the Gospels, from Alexandria. Saint Mark was celebrated as the patron saint, and the state that was created on a small island surprisingly prospered for 1,000 years. So, that's a better reason than I've ever heard why they're so obsessed with it. And the reason why the bones have like power is because it has like someone who could do miracles. Their bones would be super high vibration because bones are piezoelectric crystals. Bone is a multi-directional and anisotropic piezoelectric material that exhibits an electrical microenvironment. Therefore, electrical signals play a very important role in the process of bone repair, which can effectively promote osteoblast differentiation, migration, and bone regeneration. This is from one of these medical articles. They also call them relics. Relics are not just bones. They can also be something that the saint used. Like maybe they had a staff, like a magical staff, magical wizard staff. The shrine of Saint Achton's arm. I don't know. This stuff kind of fascinates me because these are actually magical items, basically. Straight up. Let's see. Where was I going to go with this after that? And here's, I've done here, let me show you. Here's a list of saints where the search words I used to compile this list is I would look for the term tampered remains. I would look for the term relic, translate, which means they move the bones from one place to another. Remain or remains appears in the saint's Wikipedia article. And here's a couple I picked out at random. Here's Saint Adrian of May. And they just search bone. First thing it says, in October 1540, James V commissioned a I don't know how to say that word. Reliquary for a bone of Saint Adrian of May from the court goldsmith John Mosman, be made from Scottish gold. Why? Why would they do that? Agnes of Rome. Her bones are beneath the high altar of the church built over her tomb in Rome. Her skull is preserved in the church of Saint Agnes in Aganon, Rome. And you know what's weird? I picked this kind of randomly. And earlier today I have an Aunt Agnes. I was talking about her. I was talking about my Aunt Agnes. That's kind of weird. Oh, and my cousin, Aunt Agnes's daughter. I'm not going to say her name. But we were at a Christmas dinner one time, and I got her she was a little boozed up, I guess. And we were talking about like conspiracy, like weird stuff. And she brought up that one of her uncles in Italy, like they still live in Italy, that part of the family. One of their uncles, the uncle's corpse doesn't rot. It's preserved. And that's what they say about saints. Their corpses don't rot. And my cousin said her uncle, so I don't know what that is, a second uncle, his corpse doesn't rot. How weird is that? And there's tons of these. Way more than levitation. This should just be. I'm not even halfway through. Look at all these. Where all they talk about is the bones, or the remains. So why are they obsessed with this shit? And I think there's some truth to the JoJo Bizarre Adventure thing. And if you don't believe me, that another point that goes along with this is that long ago, Old World Florida's a recent video on Jekyll Island, where Rockefeller, they made the Federal Reserve on top of a sacrificial altar for a Indian tribe where they kept the bones. They did the Federal Reserve on that exact location. It's like they were taking over that power, that frequency, the piezoelectric frequency. They were like, because you know how people say you can charge a crystal, right? You can charge and discharge a crystal so that it like matches you. And I'm pretty sure this has been proven that you can actually do this. You can charge a crystal to yourself, like match it to your signature or whatever. And that's basically what Rockefeller and friends were doing in Jekyll Island when they took the bones of the Indian sacrificial altar where all those bones were that are crystals. Bones are crystals. They were charging the crystals to themselves, to the Federal Reserve. It's magic. Basically doing magic. Where was I? But yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about tonight. Yeah, because I think like this would be like the final stab against these clowns. Spiritual war. People started doing miracles again. I don't know. Kind of a quick stream. I didn't really have a lot of time to prepare, but I wanted to get it off my chest. Kind of short, but whatever. Let's check the chat. Probably no one, but whatever. Let's check it. Initiation into Hermetic. What is your thoughts on... I'll put it over here. Odelay from Pueblo. Oh, darn, entanglement. Doc Sportello. What's up, man? But yeah, that's kind of just what I wanted to get off my chest. I could have made I'm probably gonna make a video about some of this stuff, but I don't know. I was kind of inspired to get into it. Man, I feel like I'm forgetting something. But I'll do another stream tomorrow if I remember. I hope you enjoyed the stream. I know it's kind of quick, but peace.